So welcome to a very special show. An India-Pakistan encounter in any sport is a huge encounter, particularly in hockey. So in a short while, India and Pakistan will take on each other in Chennai at the ACT. I have a super panel of people and experts who have a point of view. So without wasting any time, let me first go on to Harendra Singh, my old friend and a very celebrated coach of India. हरिंदर जी आपको देख के बहुत बढ़िया लग रहा है एलए को कैसे ट्रीट कर रहा है ऑल गुड
यहाँ पे काफी मैं जैसे पहले बताया था यहाँ पे काफी चैलेंजेस हैं लेकिन वी एंजॉय कोचेस का काम ही है जो चैलेंजेस है उसको एंजॉय कीजिए एक डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस आई थिंक वी आर इम्प्रूविंग डे बाय डे द प्लेयर्स आर डूइंग गुड सो आई थिंक आई एम एंजॉयिंग सो फार.
So Harendra, let me begin by putting you a little bit on the spot before we go more and more into the team composition and the strategy. First question is, we would like your prediction on the scoreline of the match. An India versus Pakistan encounter in Chennai. Who do you think will win and what is the predictive scoreline?
For me, I think that if you go by the history of the Chennai stadium and the performance, I think that India is not going to score less than 5 goals today. To be frank, I am very candid. And reason behind that, I am saying that when I saw the team, when the Siegfried and even the Tahir was coaching, there is a lot of structure. This team is a highly talented team, Pakistani team, no doubt about that. When I saw our coach Siegfried was coaching in the Nation Cup, the team has really improved, and I was looking for the good challenge in Asian game and ACC. But I think right now they are individually very good team. But if you ask me, there's a lot of work to do. And the way the Indian team is playing in the last 2-3 years, I can say they started from the foundation in 2010. Indian team day by day is improving.
So India will score 5 goals, you're saying, and how many do you give to Pakistan?
Kind of defense I have, the kind of Manpreet has switched the role. I don't give any single, I think that room for the Pakistan right now. I'm not emotional. I'm talking about the strategical point of view. Yes, they have some highly talented striker. They can slip. If Umar Gutta will play some attacking hockey, they can score a couple of goals. But I think he's switched his role. He knows the depth of the team, and he switched the role. So I have some doubt about it.
Okay, Harendra, I'll come back to you. So Harendra's prediction is nil in India. Siegfried Aikman, I'm coming to you now. You have coached Pakistan for over a year, and you have been understanding what the Pakistan about. What is your prediction of the possible scoreline?
Well, it's a difficult question to ask me now in this position because I'm the former coach. But I think that we have a talented team who was on track at the Nation Cup. We are growing. The players understood the structure. As Harendra said, I think that the structure is a little bit lost. They make changes, and for the players, it's a bit confusing. So I think that it's difficult to continue the growth, but the talent is there, and based on talent, teams can surprise. Especially an India-Pakistan game is never to predict. Whatever happens, magic will happen today.
Give me a prediction, please. Come on.
What?
Give me a prediction, please.
Yes, I think that India will win, and I think India will win with 3 or 4 goals difference. And that I mean difference. So I think Pakistan will score. They will always score 1 goal. They have talented attackers, which are creative, who can surprise. But at the end, India is it's far ahead on Pakistan at the moment.
Okay, let me go over to Sandeep Mishra, an NNI sports editor and Mr. Hockey as far as hockey is concerned among the media. Sandeep, you are in Chennai and sweating away. I believe you've had about 7 to 8 baths through the day. Now, what is your prediction of the
No, if you really ask me about the prediction bit, I just go back to two matches, the draw with Japan and the last quarter against Korea. I think it just comes down to, probably boils down to composure. It also boils down to, as we have basically been discussing, the structure. I think if they all fall into that structure, I think if they maintain it through the four quarters, despite Pakistan going up, despite Pakistan attacking, I would go with Harendra saying that yes, it's going to be difficult for them to have goals. But I think if I look at Umar and I see the way he is rotating the ball, the way he is planning the midfield, I still feel the score lines are going to be 5-1 or 6-1. I don't see this as a very close match. It's a very difficult for me to say it's going to be close. I think it's still going to be a 4-5 goal margin here.
Okay. Harinder, coming back to you, when we are talking about the Pakistani team, let's speak about them first. And we had sound bites coming from Rehan Butt and also from their head coach Mohammad Saklan before the match, and they basically said that the pressure will be on India. Number one, two, we are talented, but we are very young. How do you analyze these two comments? Will the pressure really be on India?
Yes, it's a matter of the starting the game, actually, how you started. Once you started, the player never think about what the going in outside the pitch. I do agree, but I think that the kind of experience that India has, and especially playing in the home ground, they play the two World Cup, major tournament in India, so they know how to deal with the home pitch. I agree with the Rehan, but I think that the same young talented team was very much structured when the Sigi was the coaching the Pakistan team. I am looking, it's a young team, but there is no structure. I think they forget the structure what the Sigi tried to build up in Asian game. It's totally missing. I think that's one of the, it's my opinion, they're sitting in the 24,000 away from India. They did the mistakes not keeping the Sigi in as a coach till Asian game. The other things, yes, the 14 players has playing the first time against the Indian. So how can you say the pressure is on India? The pressure is the players who first time taking the Indian team, and that also the home ground. So there's a lot of, I think, the ambiguity in the mind of the players, especially Pakistani team, young talent team. If you see the kind of goals they are missing, every match they are missing 3-4 goals, open goal. So that's called the experience, and that experience is not there. So I totally don't agree with that. Indian team is far ahead of the Pakistani team, current team. Let's accept that.
हरिंदर, ये भी रेहान भट्ट ने ये भी अपने साउंड बाइट में कहा कि जहां तक पूरे इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के मैचेस के बारे में अगर बात की जाए तो हम कभी मेंटली प्रिपेयर्ड नहीं हो सकते, क्योंकि वो तो ऑन फील्ड जो निकलता है इससे आप वाकिफ हैं, आप अग्री करते हैं इस लाइन ऑफ थिंकिंग से?
नहीं, इससे नहीं वाकिफ करता। 2009 में माडे प्लाटा चैंपियन चैलेंज में मैं और जब होजे ब्रासा कोच थे, हमने वो लास्ट मेजर टूर्नामेंट इनसे हारा था एक मैच 2-1 से अगेंस्ट पाकिस्तान। और उस दिन हम लोगों ने डिसाइड किया कि हम इमोशनल नहीं खेलेंगे, हम अपनी स्ट्रेटजी पे कायम रहेंगे और जो हमारा स्ट्रेंथ है हम उस पे खेलेंगे। अगर आप देखिए 2009 के बाद इंडिया पाकिस्तान के जितने क्लैशेज हुए, क्रूशियल मैच में कहता हूं, ये क्रूशियल मैच नहीं है। इंडिया क्वालिफाई ऑलरेडी सेमीफाइनल में है। मैं क्रूशियल, इंडिया ने पाकिस्तान से कभी नहीं हारा, मेजर टूर्नामेंट में कभी नहीं हारा। ये क्या दर्शाता है कि हम अब इमोशन को छोड़ चुके हैं। इंडिया पाकिस्तान, हम अब यूरोपियन से बीट कर रहे हैं, हॉलैंड से, जर्मनी से, ऑस्ट्रेलिया से, इंग्लैंड से, इनसे हम अब बीट कर रहे हैं। अब हम एशियन कंट्री में, लेट्स एक्सेप्ट इट, इंडिया इज फार अहेड ऑफ द अदर कंट्री। यस, सरप्राइज इसी स्पोर्ट्स, किसी भी स्पोर्ट्स में होता है। बांग्लादेश ने भी पाकिस्तान को क्रिकेट में हराया है, अफगानिस्तान ने भी इंडिया को हराया। तो दैट्स ए समटाइम्स इज हैपन इन द वंस ए मून। यू कैन नॉट प्रेडिक्ट ये टीम चैलेंजिंग है। तो इंडिया इज फार बेटर एंड इंडिया हैज मूव आउट फ्रॉम द प्लेइंग in hockey, especially emotional game. That's only for the Indian public, Pakistani public, and the media. Nothing for the hockey players nowadays.
Okay, Sigi, coming to you, where this current Pakistan team is concerned, and the structure of the Pakistan team, which is basically there are two prominent coaches, and both of them have played for Pakistan and have a pretty sound understanding of the game. And when they talk about a young side, how long do you think it will take for them to emerge as a major subcontinent power? And also your viewpoint on the team composition for this match.
Okay, I think that the talents need time. I think a few years to grow as a group and to get step by step to the aim. The problem is that in this stage, you should not expect these kinds of results for them, that they can challenge India. That's not fair. This team, I agree with Harendra, they lack experience. They've never played on this level. So they played in Nation Cup that was against the European team, but low standard European teams, and it was already difficult. And so I think that India has a huge advantage on this team. But on the other hand, talent grow quickly, and when are you a talent? When you adapt fast. And these players are adapting fast. They have the potential, but in now modern hockey, you cannot do without structure. If I'm not mistaken, they play the old-fashioned system again, the old structure, and they also started to play not only in that structure but also with the same attention. That means
Okay.
create your you create one-on-ones, and that makes that it's very predictable. And as you said, that they missed many goal-scoring options. Yes, they did, but that was because of the way they play. The players are not at the last stage of the match. They are tired. They cannot bring it anymore. So it looks like a chance, but it's not even a chance. The passing is not secure. And that's logical because the guys work very, very hard. And I think the Pakistan players, they have a great heart. They have a lot of passion, and they give everything in the matches, every match again. But it's undoable, and modern hockey doesn't allow this. So I think that it will take years for them to come back on this level, on the required level.
Right. Sandeep, I'll toss over to you. I know you're having a tough time outside the stadium. There is not only the heat and humidity, but there are connectivity issues. So your views on the new coach, and the team composition of India, and then if you want to talk directly to Harendra and Siegfried for a while, I'll take a back seat.
Can you just repeat that again? There's just too much sound and noise over here.
I just said we would like an overview from you on the Indian team and the new coach, and then if you want to have a chat with.
I actually can't hear you now.
Can you hear me? Sandeep, can you hear me? It's a bit difficult to get through. Can you hear me?
Come on.
Well, we'll try and come back to Sandeep in a while.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, give us an
I'm
overview.
just the Pakistan team has just arrived. I think just a couple of minutes back they've just entered the stadium because the second match is still on. But when you ask for an overview, I'm
Yes, go ahead. Sandeep, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I mean, the point I was making on the overview part was that since Craig has come in, there has been, of course, there's a lot of positivity that goes across with the Indian team. You've got a new coach. The 2018 World Cup and the 2023 World Cups haven't really gone to plan. But I think with the new coach, there has been an emphasis on defense. A lot of emphasis which has gone on to the defense. Yes, your midfield is
Yeah.
Lost the signal, I think.
There's some. He has massive problems in Chennai. Harendra, coming to you, what is your assessment of the new coach, Craig Fulton, number one? And second is, there has been some chatter and a little bit of criticism about the fact that he's making India going for a more defensive strategy. Now, as an expert, what is your personal viewpoint on the new coach and the way he's going about it?
I think the first of let's accept it. We Indian and Pakistani always look for the instant coffee. we don't believe in the process. The problem is that. So if you see I'll take 30 seconds to explain. When the Sigi took the Pakistani team, I'm a
Please.
big fan of Pakistani skill and Pakistani passion for that, because that's give the world hockey needs the Pakistan hockey. Let's accept it. And he really put the structure. Now the structure has gone haywire. The players are the same, and the coaches are inexperienced. If you talk about the Craig Fulton, he has to bring the. He worked for the Ireland team. He has a successful rate. Then he joined the Belgium team, which is one of the assistant coach, and I think he'll try to make the process, and that something he's trying. Attacking team win the matches, defense win the championship. What do you want? You want to win the championship? You want to win the match? Let's you decide. So I think his experiment and his experiment of this kind of tournaments is always helps the players and the coaches what kind of hockey suits for me. And I think he's in the right direction to experiment for the defense. You have to tight the defense. In the 2018, I was the World Cup coach. Maximum circle penetration, shots on the goal, but still we lost 2-1 against Holland in quarter-final. Doesn't give the result which we wanted. But if we, that's the same time, if we tight the defense, we might win that this matches and this thing where we want to occur. I totally support Craig Fulton the way he's trying to implement few things, and he tried to figure out and then go for the Asian game, the full idea, and then follow by the Olympic. So we must give his time, and I think the what he want to experiment, he needs the time to experiment, and the player has to understand. Outside the public, they are the big fan of Indian hockey. I only request them have the patience. The result will come fall in the future.
Okay, Sandeep, I'll try and come back to you again. If you can hear me, just go ahead.
Yeah. No, I can. I mean, you were asking about the overview, and I think I do second what Harinder has been saying. I think we need patience with the coaches, irrespective of who they are. And now, since you already have Craig, of course, there's this whole sound and fury about, how India might just become a defensive side. I don't think so. I do believe that unless your defenses are sorted out, you can keep attacking, you can keep getting the goals, but you still will not be able to win those big ones. And when I say a big one, my mind immediately goes back to, and I don't know if Harinder will agree to on this particular point, but it goes back to the quarterfinal in 2018. It goes back to the 2-0-2-3 crossover match that we played. I think defensive lapses have cost us important tournaments. They have cost us important matches. And overall, when you look at the last 10 years, we did less. I think that's a kind of an overview I look at over the last 1 decade of Indian hockey.
Okay, we are now joined by Tahir Zaman, and a very warm welcome to you, Tahir. He's, for our viewers, he is a celebrated coach of Pakistan, a star player of his time, and he has experienced and seen a lot of India-Pakistan clashes. Tahir, first of all, what is your initial reaction about today's match? If you can hear me. Okay. I'll come back to Tahir in a while. Connectivity seems to be an issue today. Sudhi, when we talk about an India-Pakistan encounter of at such a degree, there is also a lot of chatter coming in today from the federation officials that they want to make these India-Pakistan matches. They want to be this encounters to be held on a regular basis, which is obviously good news. So, how much will that help in raising the standards of hockey in the subcontinent? What are your thoughts?
I think it will help a lot because India and Pakistan, if you like it or not, they are the hockey greats, especially in this continent. Everybody tries to play the hockey from India and Pakistan. And if you look at look at the stands. When the teams play, it's sold out. Many people look at home. Everybody wants to be involved. People from all over the world tune in to see the match. So it will have a huge impact to sell the hockey product. And because it's also always an attacking game, it's a bit strange to say so, but the attacking game both teams play makes it also so interesting. There's always something happen. I think that that should change. And what India is doing now, trying to play from a good structure, and they want to defend to attack. I think it will help the continent to grow the hockey to the next level, because until now it's a hit and run. And if we can go more and more to a better structure, better defense, and with the skills, the speed, the agility, the talent which there is in these countries, they must be able to, on the not so long term, to make a big step, and that would help in this continent a lot. That's my strong belief.
Okay, let me go over to Tahir Zaman one more time. Tahir साहब, आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं कि नहीं?
Ji, I can hear you this time. Sorry for the inconvenience. My net is not probably working properly.
Not a problem. As long as you can hear me, that's great. So, first of all, there are two things we would like to ask you. The first thing is that in today's match, already Rayan Butt has made this comment that it is a very young side, but the pressure will be on India. So, what is your reaction on that? And what do you think will be the estimated scoreline between India and Pakistan?
Okay, I think what I have heard you clearly, that is you were mentioning that Rahman Butt has said something about that they got young side. I agree with that. I think the major difference is the international matches exposure between India and Pakistan. And ultimately, if we go back and see the results of the other matches, previous matches like India and Japan, India and Korea, they were close, and Pakistan result against Japan and Korea, they were also close. And to be honest, the game always between Pakistan and India, who knows better than Harendra and myself, and even Siegfried Aikman, who has been coaching Pakistan team, it is usually game of nerves, I would say. Who will have more strong control on their nerves, they will have the better chance to win this game. And I would say the more pressure will be on Indian side, to be honest, from psychological perspective. They are playing in home ground, home crowd. They are quite experienced side. So Pakistan, as they are quite young side, they don't have much experience. But I'm sure that they will go all out to win this game today. To be honest, when I said it is a game of nerves, and we need to see how the young side of Pakistan, they can control their emotions and being able to play some discipline hockey. That is what the most important is for Pakistan, I would say.
आज के मैच के बारे में ताहिर आपका क्या प्रेडिक्शन है? क्या पॉसिबल स्कोर हो सकता
है? I mean, if we look on paper strength, there is no comparison, to be honest. And I can see the Pakistan team, they can do anything. They are unpredictable, and the way they have been, the youngsters, they are enjoying their games. I would say they should play their best, and it could be anybody's game. I would say Pakistan is going to win, and it is going to be a big upset of the tournament.
Okay.
Sandeep, you can smile, but still, I believe that way.
So, Arup ji, if I can vouch for that, if Tahir and Siegfried is this Jugalbandi will be the Pakistan team, I can vouch. Yes, there is a surprise element, but the current team, let's accept it now. The Tahir bhai again come in the emotional part, which I already touched that things. Of course, every country, and our job is we are patriotic, we support our team, but sport doesn't work in that line. I think that the Indian team is far better than Pakistani team, current team. Pakistani team is highly talented, but if they will play with this Jugalbandi, Tahir and Siegfried, I can say this team is highly talented. They can challenge any team if you give them the 3 years. That's my thing. Right now, I don't think there are any challenge for these two teams.
We agree with you. No comparison on the paper. Indian team is far better. But I tell you, I think the first quarter is going to be very critical, because the home crowd pressure. That is the time. I mean, during the first quarter, I am expecting that Pakistan will be able to take a lead in first quarter. Then match is going to be a completely change. The first quarter is very important.
Siggy, would you like to react to that about the importance of the fourth quarter, as Tahir is saying?
Well, as much as I would like to see Pakistan win, because it would be a major upset and it would be good for hockey too, because it will give Pakistan a lot of wings that they would fly high, and the support for the team would be fantastic. So yes, if the dream outcome should be that, but the reality is different. So I think it's wishful thinking. And if I look at the performance from Pakistan in this tournament, they struggled a lot with goal scoring, with keeping their defense in order. They made many mistakes in the back four, and they escaped with it. I think that India team is more experienced, and I don't believe in the home pressure in a tournament like this. And looking at how Greg Fulton is doing with the team, looking how they did, the last results were good. After they had the setback against Japan, they improved a lot, and the score against Malaysia was a very good score. So if you look at it, I think that they show actually maturity, and that's what is important in matches like this.
Okay.
And what is also important, this is not the final stage. I know that India in group matches, they go all out. If it's final, then I would agree a little more with Tahir, because I think that then the pressure would be there, because if they lose then, it has direct consequences. Now there are no consequences, only egos which will be hurt. So I don't think that that will be a big issue.
Okay. Tahir Zaman, there was a time in Pakistan when you had the celebrated Dutch coach Hans Jorritsma in period with the Pakistan team. But then after that, that whole plan was jettisoned. It was put aside while India experimented with Coach Brasa, and they stuck to the point of having an overseas coach as the head coach and with a support staff from India. Do you feel that Pakistan did something wrong there with after Hans Jorritsma left?
Well, to be honest, I think back in 1994, when we were having Hans Jorritsma, there was a different kind of the arrangements working with the Hans Jorritsma. With all due respect, he contributed a lot. There is no doubt about that. As we were having our team manager and head coach, Hans was usually more focused on our training perspective to develop the players' competence level. He was more focused on those areas. He was not overall handling the team. He was not sitting on the bench as well. So on the bench, we had our local management to deal with the team. I think that combination was somehow the other, with very good understanding of Hans Jorritsma, we were able to work out. And after winning the World Cup, it would have been nice to keep continuing that way, having some experts who they can come to Pakistan and they can educate and train the coaches and same time with the players. And that would have been also learning atmosphere or learning opportunities for the local coaches as well. But we have been trying things differently afterwards, and there was no consistency with any kind of process. And I think that is why we were not able to produce the better results after 1994. And to be honest, having experts, it is a good thing, but you need to see how we can define their role, which can be effectively contribute in the development of the team overall. Actually, that is what we need to see. And I think if we talk about India, only one thing which I have to mention is it is the consistency of the process. That is why India is able to produce some results. They continue the same way, even there was different, I mean, they have tried every world best coach in their country, but they continue the same way. To be honest, financial aspects are also playing a vital role to have this consistency. Anyways, Siegfried knows those elements very well. When I'm saying the financial aspect, so it is not easy to have this continuity back in our country. Okay. But yes, it has different impact, and main thing I would say, the continuity or consistency of the process is the main key wherever and however you want to work.
Okay. Sandeep, hope you can hear me, and you've been listening into this conversation with Tahir Zaman and making quite a few interesting points. Just take over for a while on this chatter, and if you want to interact with them directly.
No, I just probably a question for Tahir. I've covered the 90 and the 94 World Cups, and this is my personal. I don't know if Aikman and Harendra believe probably one of the best Pakistan teams overall I saw in 94. But when you talk about a process, isn't it very open for the Pakistan Hockey Federation also to be able to understand that this is the requirement that the process needs to go in this way? So, do you think things could have been extremely different, completely in a different way if after 94 the process would have been carried on with Joritsma and all of that?
Tahir, that was for you. Sandeep, if you heard Sandeep, he wants your reaction on the process, that why wasn't it carried forward the way it should have been if there were any further difficulties?
Yeah, I think we have some domestic reasons behind that, and to be honest, keep changing in the federation on top positions and keep changing the coaches, trying out different style or philosophy of, different school of thought people carrying. I think that was the main reason. And when I'm saying consistency, so it has to be a proper plan, no matter who is coming into the federation, taking the place on top, but the process or the plan which you have already designed and which is already in execution mode for like 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, that is what it needs to carry on. So if with a change of anyone in the top position or with the change of the coach, if you keep changing your plan as well, whatever it is, that is not going to work actually. That's what I meant to say. That went wrong with the process. To keep changing people in top positions and also, I would say, in coaching position as well. So, end of the day, players are having one mind. You see how long they can sustain this pressure. One day I am coaching them, and after 6 months, Siegfried coaching them, and next 6 months or 1 year, Harry is coming there to coach them. They have to change themselves. They need to adopt the new philosophy every time. So it is not easy. And same with the federation administrative perspective. So we need to learn from our mistakes. I hope that we will be able to do so.
Siggy, you're smiling. Would you like to react to that?
Tahir is right, but they need a long-term strategic plan. And in India, they managed to have that strategic plan, and they had Batra, who was owner of that strategic plan. And I think he did a fantastic job. And that job brought India where it's now. And he was consistent. So consistency is important. And yes, there are other circumstances, but I think those are circumstantial things we mentioned. First, you have a strategy and put with it. And that's not happening. I think that in 1994, Pakistan had their strongest team. And after that period, it became gradually less. And that has to do with not only the structure in Pakistan, but also the fact that world hockey changed a lot in that period. It became more and more professional. In the past, India and Pakistan were the professional countries. Now, hockey is played in many countries professionally and has a professional approach, a more scientific approach. And that change, that's where Pakistan missed the boat. And we can talk long about it, but I think if with a good coaching structure, more scientific approach, it would be possible to be back on track. And that's, for me, a key point.
Harendra, I was reading an interview of yours where you laid emphasis on a couple of points which are very interesting. One is professionalism, the second is money, and the third is maximum exposure. So you are now currently in LA coaching the American men's team. Obviously, we would like you to share that experience. But first of all, when you're talking about professionalism, money, and maximum exposure? Does it have to be in equal form, or you feel one of the three is more important?
So I'll divide your question in two parts. I think you have really touched the very important points of the. If you talk about the high performance team, it's a very expensive perspective. You cannot run anything and you cannot plan if you don't have the financial, I think, the back. And the one thing, what I totally agree with the Siegfried, that today Indian hockey is doing good. And from the number 13, we are number 4. And the reason behind that, only one man show. Mr. Batra. I think the way he carry out after 2009 the team and also provide the teams which need. And what you need the vision, planning, execution, and follow by the result. That's a process. And I think that's a blueprint he has made after 2010 World Cup. And that's where the Indian team is one of the best team facility-wise, if you ask me. One of the best team. I am in the USA. I am seeing the Holland, Germany player. I'm talking about the financial security of the player. I think the Indian player are far, far better than any player in the world in terms of the financial things. And also, we should not forget the kind of Odisha government, the government of India and the Hockey India is planning for not only for the senior team, also the process in that process under 18, under 21 and giving the exposure, how much you train. But if you don't give the exposure, you don't give the experience, how this player and the coach going to test. I think these things in the very much in plan in Indian hockey. And I totally agree with Siegfried. This credit goes to only one man show, and that's Mr. Batra. And I think that's follow on. Now the current setup also, they are following the same blueprint what he has established in 2010. And also, let's accept it. We have changed so many coaches, but we never change our structure. If you see that, we are playing the same structure, minor here and there, some adjustment. This coach is doing the great job, if you ask me. And I think he's just only emphasizing few things on the defensive part, which is important for the Indian team if they want to get the Olympic and World Cup medal.
And Harinder, when it comes to the your American experience there, coaching obviously the nucleus of a young side, how has it been in a nutshell, and what is the team composition like?
So see the USA, most of the players they are playing in the Europe. We have that 11 or 13 players. Those who are in Europe, they play in the European circuit, and the few players are left in USA. I'm talking about the senior team. So we train twice a week, or maybe once a week, or maybe once a month also, because here the balance between the education and the sports and also the job and sports is hard to balance. USA Hockey Federation, they are really doing a great job by providing the maximum resources. I think whatever we have, but if you compare with India, it still is too far, because in USA it's always designated as a women's sports. So getting the men's sports in all this thing is still hard. But I think I'm very happy the way the management is working, and also the top people who's holding on the top to provide the resources. I think they are doing the best job, and that's one of the things is good for the coach. He know that the top people are working our vision, and we are slowly improving. That's a good thing. And from the 27 grassroots level under 21, now we have reached more than 150 kids. So that's also I'm spreading the grassroots level in the wide range, and we have set up the 4 or 5 high center. So I think the coming years or the few years we have the more players who can be desired to represent the USA.
Sandeep, over to you.
Can I pop in a question for Harendra?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, Harendra, I mean, you were part of the Hockey India League when it started off, and I think it gave a massive push to the Indian team at that time. I mean, you can have so many interviews with so many players who always said that, playing with these European players who came into the HIL actually made them realize they were as good, if not better. The HIL is going to come back in 2024. I think today there was a press conference in which FI's president also said that he's looking forward to the HIL in 2024. Do you think that if the Hockey India League comes back now, it's going to give us that much cushion of another 10 years of good juniors coming through the ranks, of players playing with these good players from outside, Do you think the 2024 edition will be much bigger and better and good for Indian hockey?
I think that's a demand of the modern hockey, especially for HIL. It's not give the stability of the financial for the Indian players. I think that even the Europeans and the across the globe also. That's I think the best thing is going to happen. And for that, I really like to congratulate the current team management. They are pushing hard to get the 2024 the HIL. It's a very good news you have shared with us. And also, we should not forget whatever the 2016 my success in the with the junior this thing. That's because of the my entire junior team they played in the HIL, and that's give the lot of experience with the holding the last moment decision making. You are playing with a different structure. So I think that it will not give only the Indian hockey, but the senior team. It also give the grassroots level. They can desire to play the hockey. There is more player you can see the picking the hockey and become a professional, because the hockey India give the financial stability, and which is the one of the things the Pakistani and hockey players and Indian players, they always look the financial stability. And once they know that there is a financial stability in hockey, definitely we have the grow in the larger group. We'll go in the masses, and from masses you can get the classes. So I think this is a very good news for the junior, under 18 and the senior team, and also the global hockey.
Be good news for Tahir and Aikman and Harendra. I mean, basically, between the relationships in terms of hockey between India and Pakistan, when the secretary of the Hockey India today said, Bholanath, that the Test series is going to be resumed once again. So the junior Pakistan side and the junior Indian side and the senior sides are going to be going on this Test series. Nobody actually has said about where will the Test series be held, but looking at the point that the Pakistan team is here for the Asian Champions Trophy, actually one doesn't see an issue in having a Test series between both the sides. And if this comes across, then I think it will be good in so many terms for both the nations. Uh, I would understand Tahir would probably have something to say about having the relationship between India and Pakistan in hockey starting off once again.
Kyle,
Is
would you
it
like? Yes.
Sandeep
Would
ji?
you? I'll just repeat what Sandeep said. He basically said that today one of the Indian hockey officials said that, in fact, announced that a Test series will be resumed soon between India and Pakistan for both the seniors and the juniors, and which would be a very good thing. So, what are your views on it, and specifically, what would the venue be, knowing the current tensions between the two countries and what it has taken to get Pakistan here for the ODI World Cup? We are all aware of that, but what are your thoughts?
I think it is a great news for the hockey lovers back in Pakistan, even in India, and not in even in this subcontinent. Globally, everyone would be very happy hearing this news. It should be resumed definitely, whether we played bilateral series India and Pakistan, even if we choose any neutral venue to play these test matches between Pakistan and India, senior level or junior level. That is very essential for global hockey, I would say. Still, I mean, being in 2023, we are talking about scientific approach, modern hockey, total hockey. Still, the war movements are usually when any individual is showing their individual brilliance, skill brilliance, and I can say so. I mean, now the many European players, they have developed their individual skills, but still the Pakistan Indian players, the kind of flavor in their individual brilliance they are having, it is really fascinating the spectators when they are actually displaying their individual skills. So world deserve to watch this fantastic Asian style of hockey, and I think both the countries, they should work as much as closely or strongly, and I would say uh, uh, whatever it is needed, but we should make sure that Pakistan India Test series are going to be resumed, and we are playing a bilateral series, whether senior level or junior level. I'm very happy to hear that Sandeep Mishra shared this news with me, and hopefully it will be going to be done soon in future, inshallah.
Sandeep, continue, please.
Now, just coming back to the match, I think if I asked Bhaskaran, basically who are the players that they pick for this particular encounter that's just about an hour away. So I think my first choice in this would be Harinder. If he could pick those three players that are going to be crucial today and who probably will be crucial from the point of view that we are going to be playing Pakistan, which is going to be an emotional match in so many ways. So, which are those three players that Harinder you feel are going to be extremely crucial in today's game?
For me, the Harmanpreet, Manpreet, and Hardik, they are the crucial because they are the Manpreet and Hardik is a supplier, machine supplier. Harmanpreet has to hold his nerves. He should not focus more on that attack, and he know that when the times comes, he can score in any given time. He's one of the best drag flicker in the world, and that's he needs the services when he needs. So he should not getting tired unnecessarily running here and there. He should be fresh whenever he's taking the PC, and that's where that opening of the Pakistani gate. I think that's Harman will play the crucial role. Manpreet and Hardik will be the crucial for the attacking part of that.
Tahir, if I may ask you, do you think Umar Butta in that crucial position which he now holds in the midfield, is he going to be hugely influential today? And also, how crucial is going to be Sufyan for Pakistan? I mean, he has been in quite a top form in terms of his species.
Oh yeah, I think Umar Butta is doing well. I do agree with you. He has to play a leading role as a captain as well. And beside that, goalkeeping is going to be crucial. I hope that Akmal will be in his having best day today. And beside that, I would say Hanan Shahid is going to be vital in front line. He is the player with lots of individual brilliance, I would say. Sometimes he do things which we don't expect from many players. So I think these three players are going to play the vital role from Pakistan side. I do agree with Harinder. I think also Abhishek from India side, beside those three names, is also going to play a very vital role.
But he's not in the team.
He's not in the team?
Yeah.
All right, I don't know that. Sorry. then you're right, Harry.
But I just wanted to come back to you.
Overall, to be honest, penalty corner defense and counter control to deal with the counter attacks, that is where Pakistan should be focused.
I just wanted to come back to Harinder. Harinder Surinder has not been in the team in this and the last tournament. He didn't go to Spain. And of course, you've been working so closely with Surinder over the years. And I still remember 2018 quarterfinal against Holland. We lost that game, but he was the man of the match. Do you think he can still make a comeback? Do you feel that in Craig's system, in Craig's structure, a player like Surinder, who might appear slow but is defensively very, very solid, will find a comeback?
I think that the question you have put is always the coach has to ask. But if you ask me, Surinder is definitely one of the solid defense India has ever produced last, I think, 8 or 9 years. He was a solid. But I don't know. After 2018, I also discussed with him also. He has developed when any team is slapping the ball and crossing on the run. After receiving, he used to give a lot of plenty corner for opponents. And that's a crucial moment. If you see the number of plenty corner he conceded after receiving the ball, and I think there he has to improve if he really want to. With that, a lot of teams there is no much traffic in the circle. It's always the three striker, and the rest are floating outside the circle, and that's one of the strategy in the new things has come. And if you are under pressure and after receiving you start giving the PC, then the team will be always in the back foot, and that's where I think that Surinder lost his touch and where it makes it difficult for the coaches to pick. But I still feel he's one of the solid defense. He's the only player on Manpreet has a long hit. They can transfer the ball from 40 to 60 yards. He can hit, he can slap, also he can play in any position. So he's a solid defender, very work ethics and workload is so high. He always and the team player. I support for him.
looking at this match, you've also gone through the emotional upheaval of a Pakistan-India game. Is this a penalty corner deciding match, or this is something where you feel the centre forwards are going to play a larger role? I know the centre forwards assist in giving those pieces, but will this be driven by penalty corners, or would you think that this will be driven by centre forwards today in the game with field goals?
This question for me?
Aikman.
I think it will be the forwards. I think it's, if you look at it, and if you look at when the last results, Mandeep was he starts scoring again, and that's important. I think he is also a key player for India. If he is in good shape, he always scores, and if he scores, India performs. And I think that same is for Pakistan with Hanan. Hanan is a remarkable player. He is a great talent. And so I think that the forwards might be decisive. If it's the panty corner, they both have a good corner. The defensive structure from India is a little bit better, but Pakistan did also well with their defensive structure. So I think that the attackers and the experience of the attackers will be key today. Can they hold their nerves? And those who can hold their nerves will be most successful.
Yeah, Arup, it's over to you.
Okay. Tahir, from you, one would like to understand the larger strategy of the beauty of Asian hockey, which you mentioned a while ago. And I was speaking to Sandeep before he left for Chennai. So he was saying he was a bit sad that, the beauty of Asian hockey is getting lost. Those the tactics, the dribble, what made it so attractive for viewers here in the subcontinent, that seems to have got lost more and more, and there's too much of pre-planning coming in. Can there be something in between, or is it a lost art?
Well, your voice was breaking. If I understood properly, you're talking about the Asian style hockey in comparison with the nowadays modern hockey.
Correct. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
I think so. I think to be very honest, when we jump into this professional coaching thing, let me confess here, we were also too much towards the European style of coaching, because it was new learning for us when we started in FIH courses and other things, when we had more interaction with the European coaches, and we start following more of the European type of things, and we forget about continuity. I mean, we forget about continuing our work on our strong sides, which is some of these very special Asian skills. I would say hitting on the, usually we say right foot or wrong foot. I would say it is Asian style skill, and also pushing on the run on your right foot, or usually we say wrong foot, and use of fake body actions in your 1 versus 1 eliminations. We caught into too much of European style, and these things were ignored. We did not work on these things very properly, to be very honest. I think that was some, we missed that part. Still, I have to realize myself after so many years that was mistake from our side. Those were our strong point, and it needs to continue working on those things beside learning all these modern skills nowadays hockey. And so, like hitting, one of the very essential thing is hitting. Hitting used to be a very, very strong, powerful tool of Asian style of hockey, but we ran behind slap shot, sweep shot, whatever it is, and we stopped working on hitting. So I think nowadays, I have seen already, we have discussed this too many times with Siegfried as well in many workshops. We have to go back to develop the hitting aspects of our players. And we see still hitting is the very powerful tool, whether it is passing, whether you are using for power passes, whether you are using for goal scoring. So forehand hitting is the very, very essential thing. an Asian style of hockey, I would say, which needs to continuously worked out. Same as I said, few of right foot push, whatever we can say, an elimination with the fake body actions, a typical Indian style of dribbling. I think those areas where we need to develop our youngsters. These are the essential things which we have to coach our youth and back in India and Pakistan. Those are very special Asian skills. And beside all those European style of play, whatever we can learn them.
Tahir Zaman, before we wind up this show and go and watch the match, I would like you to tell us any anecdote, any moment that you remember as a thrilling moment in an India-Pakistan encounter that you may have experienced in the past.
Well, I would say 89 Asia Cup. I think that time Indian team was favorite back in Delhi, but we beat them in the final. That was a very critical one, has very good memories. And I would say I'm hoping that Pakistan team should be able to repeat something like that, although they are not favored today.
Harendra, over to you. Any anecdote that you remember of this kind?
Yes, I remember that 2004 Junior Asia Cup in Karachi, the full stadium. It was the Friday, 30th April. I was told Pakistan is going to score 4 goals. When we were entering in the pitch, and I have a confrontation with my counterpart Pakistan coach, and then I call up my player. I said, if you score less than 5 goals, I'll make you everyone roll in front of entire public. So better you score 5 goals and win this match. Luckily we score 5 goals, and 3 goals we scored by Tushar Khandekar, those who are not in the team. In the last moment, because of my request, we included in the team. So that's always the dream for me. What I ask for the players, they deliver, and that's delivered within the time frame. So that match is always close to my heart.
Okay, that's wonderful to hear. And I need to wrap this up now because the match is around the corner. And good luck to both the sides. And very big thank you to Siegfried Aikman, to Tahir Zaman, to Harendra, and to Sandeep for joining us with their expert comments. And we'll be back with much more after the match gets over. So goodbye and good luck.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you, Sigi. Thank you, Tahir bhai. Bye.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Sigi. Good to see you guys. Thank you, Sandeep ji.
Bye.